everybody communicates, you connect. Unless you live on your own cave and you don't have to talk to anybody, you have to improve your communication skills. Or at least everybody else does. Today we're going to share some principles and practices of how to improve that communication skill. You know, we all want, if I ask you, how many of you want to improve your results? If your results are good, you still want to improve them. So everybody's going to say, me. And what I have realized, and what it took me a while to realize, is that the best way to improve your result is if you learn how to get on with people, how you communicate, how you connect with them. So I'm going to leave you with one of my business partners. His name is Fabio Garcia. He is an entrepreneur. He has different business, and he has 15 years of experience as a coach and a fitness trainer. Right? So,
good morning, guys. Hope everybody's having a wonderful morning. First of all, my team and I want to thank you for being here. It's an honor and a privilege to have the opportunity to share with you these resources and these tools to improve your life, to improve your personal growth. And as I talk about the opportunity, I would like to ask you these questions. Are you ready for the opportunity that is coming your way? Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to receive those opportunities and to communicate and connect with them? Because regardless of the type of communication that you get to establish, the key point is that people respond to you not just based on the type of words that you use, but in the connection that they experience the moment that they talking with you, that you communicating with them. Let me tell you something about this. I'm sure every one of you have been in a different situation when you are talking to someone and communicating, and you feel like somehow you're not connecting. Somehow that conversation don't go the way that you expect. It's a little awkward. It's a little uncomfortable. You just don't know what to say. But you also have been in the situation when you are talking with someone that you just met and that person just connect with you. You build that connection and everything flows. You feel like I think I know this person forever. That happens. These two groups are put in difficult people to connect with and easy people to connect with. So we're going to talk about these two groups. People difficult to connect with. The downers. This is negative people. They always have something bad to say. They are complainers. The best that they can do is critique and judge. They are almost impossible to please. The better than. They know it all. They need to be better than anybody else. They like to show off. They always want to impress others. And one of the particular characteristics of these people is they like to compare others with in order for them to show off. You know anybody like that? I'm pretty sure. Passives. They're the pushovers, the yes men, the weak links. They offer little to no contribution to any topic of conversation. They like to let others do the hard work. That's what they do when you recognize the people that are passive. They always say yes, yes, but at the moment of taking action, of doing something, they don't do nothing. They let others do the hard work. At times, they're very reactive and explosive people. They're always bossy. They believe that it's only one way possible, and that way is their way. Do you know anybody like that?
Yes.
I'm sure. They feel entitled. The question is, what would you do when dealing with this type of people? What would you do in that case? I'll be honest with you. If you're surrounded by this type of individuals that they're not adding anything possible or value to your life, the best choice that you have is to get going. Move on. In life, if you're not changing these people, you're not growing. You only have two options if you remain with them on your life. You're going to be in that comfort zone, and you're not going to change, and most likely you're going to turn like them. But we also have these particular circumstances that a lot of people, a lot of times I got the people that comes and say to me, hey Fabio, I understand what you're saying about these people, but what happens when those people are my wife, my cousin, when those people are my sister and brother? In that case, my best suggestion for you is to get to know them better. Because the best way that you recognize who they are, so you need to know how you can connect and communicate with them. How can you make them better, you know? How can you add value to their life? At Pinnacle Performance Team, we have a particular tool of assessment that will help people to improve their life. That is called this personality assessment. The this personality assessment is a tool that helps individuals to get to know who they are. It helps you to get to know who you are. What type of personality are you? What are your strengths and your weaknesses? How do you connect? How do you relate to others? That's what we do with this personality assessment. This personality assessment stands for D for dominant, I for inspired, S for supportive, and C for cautious. Those are the 4 types of personalities. But the beauty of the assessment is not that it's going to help you to get who you are, but it's going to help you to get who the other people are and how you can connect and relate to them. And the beauty of this assessment is that every single time that you do it, that you take it, you're going to discover something new, something better of you. I have had people that have taken the assessment one time, 6 or 7 months later, they take it again. And then they see the change. Their graphic doesn't look the same. And they say, wow, because it's the improvement, the change that you have created in your life. So I must tell you, in order for you to change and to improve, you have to start working on you. You need to work on you before you work on others. Now we're going to talk about people easy to connect with. The enthusiastics. They are always positive. They live with a purpose. They have something to offer to the world. Always aim to add value to others. They live in a happy and satisfied mood. They're friendly. Always on the lookout to meet others. They're easy to start a conversation with. Easy to approach. Radiate positive energy. The optimistics. They see the best of life. Happy, energetic, and positive. They look for the positive side regardless of the circumstances and the situation. One particular characteristic of these people, they always keep an open heart. And that is something that makes them different than everybody else. Their glass is always full and sometimes overflowing. You know anybody like that? Any optimists? You know any optimists? I'm pretty sure you do. Outgoing. They're very interested in their surroundings and what's happening around them. Always open for trying new ways. Enjoy taking action. Easy to make friends with. They can adapt to any group or circumstances. Now the question is, what do you do when dealing with this type of people? What would you do? Can anybody tell me what would you do when you're surrounded by this type of people?
Take on the same characteristics.
That's right. The best suggestion that I can give you is learn from these people. Enjoy their company. Allow yourself to new possibilities and learn, adopt it. Many times we find people that do things better than us. What is to do in that moment? See how they do it and see if you can replicate and adopt it to your life. That will make you better. That will make you grow. Bottom line, when trying to communicate with others, a lot of people think that the message is what really matters. But what really matters is when your message goes beyond words. We live in this modern age, in these modern times, in this society that we live communicates in a certain way because they allow technology to be the number one thing. So most likely we are communicating and connecting, pretending to connect through a text message, through an email, even with an emoji, we think that we're connected. Right? How many of you send a little heart on a text message? Do you think that that person really feels your love that way?
Of course.
I'm not sure
Of
about
course
it.
they do. Why not? Can't hurt.
So, my invitation to you guys today is I'm an old-fashioned type of guy. I like the direct communication, the face-to-face communication. Even to pick up the phone and call. That is more meaningful. That shows the respect and that shows that you care for others. And also saves you many different things. I'd rather you talking on the phone than texting while you're driving. Right? So my invitation to you is to bring that face-to-face, that real communication. That connection that happens in real time. Face-to-face communication. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. How many of you relate to that? And I'm going to make it better for you. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. You hear that? It's not what you do, it's how you do it. We live in these modern times, but as I said before, and the other day I was watching a video and this guy was talking about how we are attached to this little thing here. How we live through this. There's people that even say that half of my life is in that phone. If I lose my phone, I lose half of my life. You think that is right? It's right to live like that? I doubt it. I'm gonna make it even more better for you. Let's pretend for an instant that you're going out to dinner with your friends. You got ready to get into your car and you're driving, but you forgot your phone. I guarantee you that even if it's 5, 6, 7 blocks away, you make a turn. I gotta get back to my phone, right? Why? Because that phone is more important than what you're about to do. Because that phone represents that security. And then you get to the dinner, and what you do at dinner? The first thing before you sit down, you put the phone right there, and you're like that. Someone is talking and you're like that. And if you get a text message, you start like that. Yes, absolutely. Your effort is not in trying to connect and communicate with that person that is in front of you, but with someone that is away from you. Come on, guys. Something is not right there. You're not giving the time and the honor, the respect that person is putting to be there with you in that dinner. Even if you do that, you know what people do? I have done it. I'm guilty of this. I need to go to the bathroom. And they go to the bathroom. Wow, why is it taking so long? Hey man, what happens? It was a line in the bathroom. Come on. Guys, in order for us, in everything to improve around us, we have to start working on us. We need to bring back the values, the principles that we were raised with. I don't think that your mom was telling you, hey, don't do that through the text message. Does she? No. It was face to face. That connection has to happen. It cannot be changed for nothing else. If we don't bring that, our future will be in jeopardy. If we allow that technology to be taking over our lives, we'll be in jeopardy. Things will not change. For this face-to-face communication, we have 3 components. Words. You need to make better your method of talking. Do you mean I need to improve my communication skills? Many different times, we think that by polishing our language and the type of words that we use, we're going to be able to communicate, to pass along that message better. That happens to me. For those of you that don't know me, I'm also a personal trainer. I'm a fitness trainer. And I've been in this business for 15 years. And I remember at the beginning of my career, the first thing that I have to do when the client comes in the first time, we sit down and we do an assessment. I want to find out what they're trying to accomplish, how they want to do things. And I remember back in that day, I used to come out trying to make myself look the best trainer, you know. Not just in the physical aspect, but in what I know. And I was telling them, I was talking about it in a different language. I was talking about calorie intake, measuring your portions, macros, saturated fat, heart rate, resting heart rate. And the look on their face was like, what are you talking about? You want to know why I wasn't communicating? I wasn't connecting with them the right way. Because I was focused on me and not on them. Because I was trying to make myself look good in front of everybody else. But the focus should have been in them. I learned that later on and I changed it. But it took me a while to understand that. All that they wanted to know was if I was going to be able to help them to improve their health and to become in better shape and give them some tips of nutrition. That's all that they wanted. They didn't want to become a personal trainer. They didn't want to be a bodybuilder. But I was failing on my way of communicating with them. So my question to you is, are you guys succeeding in your communication skills? Or what you do every day when you communicate with others? Think of that. Keep it in mind. So know that in order to improve what we do, we need to work on us. We need to make it better. We need to realize what we're doing good and what we're not doing right. And that will change the whole scenery. Tone of voice. 10% of conflicts are due to difference in opinion. 90% of conflicts are due to the wrong tone of voice. When we hear tone of voice, the first thing that we think is arguing, problems, discussions, conflict. When we have all those together, if you're trying to put your point across, you got to stop for a second and realize that something is about to happen. That opinion that you're about to give can lead either to war or peace. If you are so angry that you are forced to use a scatchy tone of voice in an aggressive posture, most likely you're heading to war. You're most likely going to start a fight. The question is, are you willing to do that? When you are put in this position, my suggestion for you is to stop for a second, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what am I trying to accomplish here? What am I trying to get out of this situation? And then in that moment, you will have two options. If you are so aggravated and upset that you don't care, then you're going to continue the fight or create a fight. But if you choose peace, your answer will be different. We're here today with you guys, but our goal, my team goal, is not to get you motivated or inspired, but for you to start taking action. If I leave you, the moment that you close that door after we're done and you feel motivated, you're going to feel motivated for a couple hours. But that doesn't change your life. Our goal is to give you tools and provide you with resources so you can change your life and start applying and change your life. As I say, changing is what really matters. The moment that you decide to improve and to become better, things will change. So, I'm going to share with you 5 steps to assess your tone of voice. And if you apply these points on how to assess your tone of voice in your life daily, things will change. Things will start to turn to look different for you. First, stop and give yourself a moment to think. If you are in that situation, take a moment. Think through. Take a deep breath. That's a good one. That is very important. Believe me or not. If you are in that moment of conflict, if you just stop it, really groove. That makes you feel better. That brings that blood flow to the brain and maybe you start thinking different. Ask yourself what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish. Listen to the other person's story. When we have these moments of conflict, we don't listen. We just try to put our point being right, being clear, being understanding. And we don't listen. Listen first. And that will tell you that you will be able to make a better choice about how you're going to respond. So when you apply this in your life in those moments, peace will be your choice. Then chances are you won't have to apologize later. Because when we are arguing, we get on all these fired up, things probably will get really bad at the end. You move on, but then you start recap everything. You say, oh, I think I can stop. Guess what's next? Hey, I'm sorry, I apologize for the inconvenience the other day. I should have said that. Save yourself some time. Don't get that far. Body language. How many of you relate to that picture? I guarantee many of you have been in one of those circumstances at one time in life. Your body language don't lie. Most likely, have you ever heard that saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression? Most likely your first impression will be based on your body language. People will read into your message according to the way that you handle yourself. I tell you this much, I'm a personal trainer. If I don't utilize my body language the right way, I won't have any business. I won't have any clients. Because according to how I show them how to do things, they're going to replicate it and do it. So that applies to anything in life. The moment that you utilize your body the right way, with the words and the knowledge that you have, you will pass that message along. For these components, we gather few percentage. And I want you to help me on this one. I want you to work with me and think through how much percentage you think that accounts for what we say. How much percentage you think that is in the words that you use, in the communication? 80%? Anybody else?
10, 20.
7%.
Really? Wow.
You see? How about the way that we say it? The tone of voice that you use. How much do you think that accounts for?
5.
5?
More, about 70.
50.
Take a look. 38%. What others sees, your body language. How much do you think that accounts for?
100.
Right. 55%. I'm sure everybody's surprised that your words, the words that are coming out of your mouth only counts for 7%. People are reading to your message not just based on what you're saying, but how you say it, how you portray it. Imagine if I come here and guys, we're going to talk about communication. Do you feel connected with me today? I don't think that will work, right? You have to portray your message the way that you are. Handle yourself accordingly to what you're trying to portray. Now we're going to put this to practice, all right? Before I get there, I'm going to tell you a story. How we have a mastermind group. Our mastermind group is set out on 10 people, 10 individuals. And the other day we decided to play the leadership game with these people. And I remember that it was this particular individual that catch my attention for previous meetings. And he was a little low-key, a little introvert. He barely speak, barely was giving his opinion out. That was my opinion of him at that time. That was my opinion. I said, oh, he's a little introvert. He doesn't want to speak out. He doesn't want to say that. But to my surprise, the day of the leadership game, things changed. And things changed greatly. I was surprised and impressed. I see this individual was expressing, was outgoing, he was saying, he was guiding with people, he was connecting with everybody. And that moment I said, something has changed in this individual. But it took him to get to the leadership game. What the leadership game is? It's a tool that we utilize to assess people and to see where they stand in life. We also utilize that tool in companies. We went to a company one time and they had a problem and they created a department. So they said, well, what we can do? I said, I think ideally we need to find out what is the problem. And how we do that? We're going to do an assessment. And what kind of assessment is? The leadership game. So the guy looks at me like, what? Say it's a leadership game. Trust me, this will work. Because people is used to it that when you do an assessment, you go and tell your department, tomorrow we're going to do an assessment to see what's going on in this department. Most likely the next day that they show up to the assessment, they come like this, with a barrier. They're like a tie, you know? They're going to do an evaluation of me. So am I going to get the right answer? Am I going to say the right things? When you tell them that you're going to have a leadership game the next day, guess what? They look forward to it. They're ready to go and engage and have fun. The leadership game. If you're invited to have fun in a game, what will you do? You will come to have fun. And the surprise is that when you are playing the leadership game, you open up easily. You express yourself freely. And the questions, the parts of the game allows us to gather that evaluation that we want, the results that we want to get. We gather all this information from them, and then we present it to the manager. And to his surprise, like, wow, I never know that my people were feeling like that. It's the same thing that happened with this individual the time that we played the game. He didn't know what he was capable of up until that day. But the best thing is after that day, things changed on his life. He became that outgoing, expressive type of person. So if you know anybody that can use the leadership game in their company or their life, please feel free to talk to us at the end. We will be more than happy to help you guys with this. Now back to the percentages. What those percentages shows is that what we think is not what it is. The thing that we thought about, like, oh, it's about how am I going to say it, but the type of words that I utilize to communicate is not really what's happening. We're going to see how we're going to combine this with another components that makes this communication, not just communication and connecting, but effective communication. And that is the thought. What is the thought for you guys in the process of communication? It's something that we know. The emotion. What do you think that emotion is? Something what? Something that we feel. The action. It's something that we do. These components are combined with the words, the tone of voice, and the body language, create that effective communication. Now let's put it to practice. When I try to communicate, I want you to help me on this one. We're going to see what type of communication comes out from these combinations. When I try to communicate something I know but don't feel, what do you think that we can call that communication? Something I know but don't feel. Anybody? That is an emotionless communication. I relate this to my clients. Many of them, they know that they have to go to the gym in order to improve their life, their health. But at the end of the day, they don't feel like going. Simple as that. How many of you have been in that position, many other things? That is emotionless type of communication. How about something I know but don't do? How do you call that? Hypothetical type of communication. I see that on my setting of the fitness industry. People know that they have to eat good. They have to change the pattern of the eating in order for improving on their bodies. But do they do it? I give them a nutrition plan. Do they follow it? That is a hypothetical type of communication. Something I feel but don't know. How do you call this one? I'm proven. I remember when I finished high school and I was about to go to university or to college in here, I feel that I wanted to be a doctor. I feel that I wanted to be an actor. I feel that I wanted to be an engineer. But I didn't know what I really wanted. It's exactly what happens. It's an improvement. You have to go and do it in order to know what it is, to find out what it is. Something I feel but don't do. That is a hypocritical type of communication. And many of you have been in this position before. How many of you have been in that, I feel that I need a vacation. And what is the next step after that?
Go back to work.
See, nobody goes through and takes action to go and book those vacations. That is a hypocritical type of communication. Something I do but don't know. That is an arrogant type of communication. Something I do but don't know. I see this in the fitness setting. A lot of people come to the gym, but they're trying everything. They start utilizing their machines, and most likely they're not doing it right. But they think that they know when they don't know. And their pride don't allow them to go and ask for help. So that is an arrogant type of communication. How about something I do but don't feel? That's an automatic type of communication. How many of us, we all have experiences in life, and we have been in many different jobs. And many times, my own experience, I was in jobs that I didn't feel like being there. So what I was doing, I was showing up to my job, doing what I have to do, and leave. That is automatic. I was like a machine, doing it just because I have to do. That is the automatic type of communication. So I believe that in order for communication to be effective, you have to have all these components: the words, the tone of voice, the body language, the thought, the motion, and the action. Right? But I'm going to make it easy for you. In order for your message to be connected with others, allow that message to be coming from the heart. Allow that message to be real, to be original, to be unique. In that moment, you will start connecting with others and your world starts to change. In that moment, connecting will turn out to be something of second nature. It comes out naturally. But the only way that happens is when we do it consistently. When we intentionally start applying those principles in our life. We're going to talk about the characteristics of connection. As I said before, communication is important, but more important is when you connect as you do it. That only happens when you allow your message to be yours, to be coming from the heart. If that doesn't happen, it's because your message is suffering from something, for lack of credibility. When your message suffers from lack of credibility, most likely you're not connecting. Most likely the other individual is not going to believe what you're saying. If you don't believe in the messenger, you won't believe in the message. Everybody lives in a way, people say I'm not good in sales. But guess what? Every single time you're selling. When you're selling is when you are telling people your message. Passing along that message really is a selling point. But you gotta make sure that these people believe in you, believe in what you're saying. Now, I'm gonna share with you a video that most likely everybody has seen before. It's from the movie Rocky, one of the latest movies. But in this movie, it's a short video, but you're gonna get to see different types of communication. And I want you to help me to recognize and identify them at the end. All right? For those of you that don't know, this is after the glorious days of Rocky, after he has retired from boxing. Life has come back to bring him a challenge, to challenge him to fight again. And then, now his son doesn't want him to go through with that. So let's take a look at the video.
You know, living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is going to be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
Well, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself. And this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor not to go through this, okay? This is only going to end up bad for you. This is going to end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
It's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke, and then I'm going to be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this. But you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day. It was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son and you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
How many of you remember that video, that movie? It's a powerful message. But more than that, I want you to help me to see what type of communication we were able to appreciate in that video. Did anybody have an opinion? What type of communication you saw in there? I'm going to give you a few tips. We could see improving communication. You see, the son feel that his father shouldn't have gone through that fight anymore. He shouldn't be doing that. But he did it from the perspective of something that he didn't know. The lack of credibility of his father. That is an improving communication. What else could you see on that video? You could see arrogant communication. He thinks that everything that he has accomplished in his life is because of his name. He hasn't given himself the opportunity to start working on him and do it by himself. We couldn't see the body language. You see the body language that they portray every single time? We could see the tone of voice. How he was fired up and is telling his body not to go through. And we also were able to see the 5 steps. You saw when Rocky went and said, took a deep breath, paused for a minute, stepped back. He thought about what I'm trying to accomplish here, and then told him his message. And the beauty of his message is because it's not in the words that he says, but from where that message comes from. That message comes from the heart. He's connected with his son. He's not connected with anybody else but his son. That message has to come from the inside. It cannot be other way. Today I want to invite you into a journey inside of you. Because before you set out to communicate with others, you need to start assessing yourself and see what is it that you're heading with this. Now I want you to ask yourself, take a deep check inside of you and say, how much do you believe in yourself? Do you really believe in what you're capable of? How much are you willing to take the risk for you before than others? Are you in harmony with your thoughts and actions? Are you in synchrony with what you're trying to accomplish in creating life? The reason I ask this question is because if anything I know about life, we all have only one chance at life. And if you are living a fulfilling life, things have to change. This is the moment for you to become the champion, the winner that you were born to be. But before you set out to do anything for others, do it for yourself. Allow yourself to connect from the inside. Allow that message in that passion that you have inside to set out. Be unique. Allow that transparency and that honesty to come out in your message. Believe me, the world is full of people that pretend to be a wannabe, living in a world full of conflict and lies. So become the person that you want to become from the inside. Remember this, you won't be able to give anything until you're in possession of something. And the best possession that you have is you. If you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. You won't be able to give anything until you're in possession of something. And the best possession that you have is you. How many of you agree with that? How many of you believe that you are the best possession that you have? Nobody else is going to do it for you. Nobody else is going to tell you how good you are before you believe in yourself and believe that you are the best that could be. My friend John Marshall says it better. Nothing can happen through you until it happens to you. We're coming to the last part of my presentation. So we're going to talk about connecting visual, what people see. I have no better way to explain to you guys this than to tell you about a little bit about me. I'm married, I have 2 kids. I have a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old. And if it is something that the best way of communicating with these kids is to see them replicate everything I do. If I tuck my shirt in, they want to do it. My 9-year-old wants to do it. Say, Daddy, I want to put my hair the way that you do. Daddy, I want to get that haircut. They do everything that I do. And it's a change of reaction. So when you think that someone is not looking, people are seeing, people are watching, people are paying attention to what you do and the way that you handle. So be careful how you handle yourself. Because that's the way that you are connecting. Even without words, you connect what you do. As humans, we remember 85 to 90% of what we see and less than 15% of what we hear. We live in these modern times where iPads, cell phones, computers, drones, everybody's taking video. Everybody's taking pictures. So we live in a visual age. I remember that I used to wake up, many years ago I used to wake up, the first thing that I turned was the TV and the news. 6 in the morning watching the news. I want to know what's going on, what's happening in the world. And after a little while, I realized that those news weren't serving my purpose. Instead of sending me out full of positive energy, desire to change and transform, what sending me out with worry, with doubt, with fear. So at one point I said, this is not serving my purpose. And I changed. I stopped doing that. Instead of that, instead of watching the TV first thing in the morning, I was going to pray to a God that was going to serve my purpose, that was going to help me to do the right thing for others. And I set out myself to do and impact the life of others. Because believe me, a lot of times we think, but if I will do something that's just me. If you think like that, nothing is going to get changed. Nothing is going to get accomplished. But if you believe that if you start to change, it's others out there doing and believing the same. And it's a change. It's a change of reaction. Same goes to the type of books that you read, the type of music that you listen to. Who are you getting advice from? Who are you getting opinion from? Who are you allowing into your life? If you are getting the opinions of the people, most likely when you have a project, when you have something, an idea, who are you going for an opinion for? Or you go to your brother, to your sister, to your mom, to your dad, and most likely they're going to say, you're crazy. Don't do it. That is too much risk. But guess what? They're doing it from the perspective of not knowing. Why would you why that opinion matters so much to you? They don't know it. You set it out to do something that none of them have done. So believe in yourself. Believe in what you are trying to portray and to give to the world. Your message matters. You were born to pass along that message. What we do, if you have those doubts and those opinions and you have those ideas together and you don't know how to put them together, how find the help of people that can encourage you to do it, we invite you to come and join our masterminds. What we do in our masterminds, we have people that have been part of our masterminds here. What we do at the mastermind, we got a group of 10 individuals. It's called the mastermind because everybody brings one brand, one mind. But collectively, we create a mastermind. We put all these thoughts and we help each other to become better, to grow. It is not better investment than the one that you're doing yourself. People save money to go and buy the cell phone, the last version of the cell phone. Right? And how long does that last? A day? 2? Until you control the cell phone, and then that investment is worthless. But if you invest on yourself, it changes your life. It changes every single day because you're investing from the inside out. In order for you to improve your capacity to connect visually with others, I want you to start working on this. Expand your range of expression. Don't think that you're talking to someone here. Even if you're talking to one person, pretend that you're talking to an audience. Your message is important. It needs to be heard. Move with a sense of purpose. Portray security. Portray confidence. If you come and give a message that you're shaking and you're in doubt, guess what? Nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to change. You won't be growing and you won't be allowed them to grow from your message. Maintain an open posture. Guys, you have to communicate. You have to start doing things different, okay? This is not going to work out just like that. Make the difference. This doesn't work. If you go protected like that, things won't change. Open up. If your message is unique and original, and honest and transparent, comes from the heart, let it out. Connecting intellectually, what people understand. Have you heard this saying before? Kids can spot a phone a mile away. Same thing goes to your message. If you go unprepared, if you don't have all the content of what you're trying to portray, what you're trying to pass along, people will be reading to that. People will see that you don't know, you don't have possession, you don't have knowledge of what you're saying, and they won't believe in you. Simple as that. Connecting intellectually, but the understanding of your message. Know it from the heart. Know that you are going to pass something that is powerful, meaningful, and changing. connecting emotionally, what people feel. People might hear your words, but they feel your attitude. We already went through this. We already realized that words is only 7%. But your tone of voice and your body language is what they're going to be reading to. The best way to apply this into your message is do it from the inside. If it's something that I want you to get from this today, it's because I want you to fire out that desire on you to pass your message from the inside, from your heart. Be intentional about it. Because believe me, the moment that you start doing these things will change. But how are you going to stay in that message that is coming from the heart? Stay positive. Believe in yourself. Don't focus on you and focus on others. Become the bridge between the negative and the positive. If you're trying to pass a message along to someone, and that someone is so negative, in that moment it's an opportunity for you to become a bridge. To take them from the negative to the positive side. To allow them to see something different, something new. We're going to summarize everything that I spoke to you today. Everything starts with the thought. That is something that we know. It's what people understand. And that is connecting intellectually. Everything starts with that emotion. It's something that we feel. It's what people feel when you do it from the heart. And that is connecting emotionally. The action is something that we do. It's what people see. And that is connecting visually. Remember this way of connecting, this way of changing and transforming, and your life will start changing and transforming as well. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Fabio.
Thank you, Nani.
I was talking to a client the other day, and he told me that he had some issues on communication, how he was delivering. And we got to the conclusion that communication is like toothpaste. Once it's out of the tube, you can put it back. So make sure that your communication is effective. Welcome back. We're going to start with the second part of the seminar. I want to introduce you my other partner. Her name is Michi Morillo, or Morillo, depending on your background. And she's also an entrepreneur. She has 18 years of experience designing and innovating graphic design. So, Michi, please.
So here we are, connecting, communicating. So first I want to start by saying, who's here to get motivated? You guys are in the wrong spot. Because honestly, I'm not here to motivate you guys. I'm here to inspire you. Alright, there's a difference between motivation and inspiration. Motivation is a feeling that once you go ahead and captivate that, it leaves, depending on the environment you're in. Inspiration is in alignment with your spirit and your higher being. So again, I don't want to motivate you guys. Because the moment you guys leave out of here, it's done. So I want to inspire you guys. So who's here to get motivated? You're still here to get motivated. I'm going to say that again.
Because it includes everything.
But it's a feeling.
Yes, and I want to feel this right now. So if you continue when I leave, because you're going to motivate me, you're going to inspire me. And so if I get motivated now and combined with inspiring, I think it'll be a better combination.
Awesome, and it's a great combination. You have a great point. But the moment I inspire you, what happens is you're operating at a higher self.
Yes.
You're in alignment with your spirit. Inspiration means spirit. So that means that you're in alignment. So that means no matter if it's 3 days from now, 7 days from now, a week from now, you'll still be inspired.
Yes.
Right now you're motivated because we're around like-minded people. So we're going to go ahead and use that combination of inspiration and motivation so you can leave here and execute, okay? Cool. I like to always start with the definition of my topic. And the definition is practice. All right? What does practice mean to you guys? Anybody?
Repeat it.
Repeated what?
Repeat it,
Okay.
makes it perfect, right?
Alright, perfect.
Constant
So
repetition
repeated
creates
exercise
connection.
or performance of an activity or skill to get better. So people practice different things in order to become better. They have that desire, they have that want to become good at something. Or if not, they wouldn't even do it. Again, but something that is repeatedly done, that means that they're gonna execute a lot better. So this brings me to our next slide, and is you can practice shooting 8 hours a day, but if your technique is wrong, then all you become is very good at shooting the wrong way. Get the fundamentals down, and the level of everything you do will rise. It's funny because I see people practice so many things. I see people practice basketball. I see people practice golf, their golf swing. People practice cooking. But I've never ever seen anybody say, I'm going to practice my social skills. I'm going to practice my communication skills. And if we did that, I guarantee you it would be a better place. Because people will know how other people feel. People will learn how to speak to other people. But again, we're only focused on the visual, like Father said before. They only focus on, I'm going to focus on cooking, I'm going to focus on this. So let's go ahead, this is what I want to do. I want to take you guys in a ride and merge into what Father was saying so that we can go ahead and become our best beings. Alright? So let me tell you why we feel that we don't need to communicate. And it's because these icons right here. Who's seen them? Who hasn't? So because of these icons, it has given us the illusion, the visual illusion that we're communicating, when in fact we're not. It's the total opposite. These icons have led us to believe that, hey, if I hit a like button, I'm communicating. If I hit a heart, we're communicating, when in fact it's the difference. Who here could tell me the 4 primary human emotions? Touch. Human emotions.
Anger,
Anger.
sympathy,
Sympathy.
happy,
Sad.
scared.
Alright, so here I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. The 4 primary human emotions is mad, sad, glad, and scared. I heard somebody say aggravated. Somebody said a couple different things. But even if you're aggravated, you'll still fall under mad. That's all we're able to process. We're only able to process 4 primary emotions. That's all we're able to do. And it's funny to me because social media has managed to get all of them in there. Again, it's an illusion. They have all of them in there in order to pretty much trick you into believing that you're connecting. Trick you into thinking that, hey, if I hit a heart, hey, that means I love them. Who's ever experienced this?
Yes.
So, it's funny because I'm going to tell you guys a quick story. It was my friend's birthday a couple weeks ago, and I saw on Facebook all the likes and all the happy birthday, I wish you the best, when is the party? And anybody who knows me knows that I'm different. Why would I go ahead and do a screen connection when I'm able to just pick up the phone and say, hey, listen, happy birthday. Happy birthday. But again, we have been taught how to behave because of these icons. We have been taught how to behave because this is what social media is. This is how connecting is now. And I want to share with you guys the true communication and connecting begins when we create an experience for the other person. When we show genuine interest and when we honor the other person by giving them our attention. Who here knows, I know I have a friend here from Connecticut. So who here shops at Publix? Who knows their slogan? Where shopping is a pleasure. Where shopping is a pleasure. So, again, their mission statement is where shopping is a pleasure. So they want us to have pleasure shopping with them. They want to communicate. So you know what I've done? I make it a pleasure shopping. I make it a pleasure so that when I shop there, they feel it. And let me just tell you, so this whole, when we create, when we show, and when we honor, I get off the phone. I've seen people on the phone, pushing their carriage, grabbing something else, talking to somebody else, as soon as they get to the checkout line. And the person is asking her, hey, listen, how was your day? Did you find everything already? And she gets ignored. Why? Because we're not honoring the other person. Who here has done that? I've done it, I'll be honest, and I'll be also vulnerable and be able to do that. I've done it. So this is one of the things that I want us to go ahead and change when we leave here, and it's using this name tag method. Who here calls people by their name? So I see 1, 2, 3, 4 people that call people by their name at the grocery store. So I want to use that name tag method. Again, these are practices that when you guys leave here, you guys are able to use, whether it's Target, whether it's Walmart, wherever it is you shop. Connect with that person by using the name tag method. If I see here that says Lisa, why would I be like, hey, you? Listen, it's all about integrity. It's all about how we carry ourselves and how we treat other people. If we don't treat people with respect, it's because do we even really respect ourselves? All right, so let's use the name tag method. The next one is disconnect and connect. This and this, that's not okay. It's okay to disconnect. I promise you that in 3 minutes that person will still be there. But again, we're afraid to disconnect. Who here has ever fasted? Oh, that's awesome. I fast from my phone sometimes. Because it's so hard to do because so many people want to feel connected, but the wrong way. And all this is a screen and scrolling, like, and hate and be angry. And I fast from my phone. There's times I cut it from 1 hour to probably the next hour. But it shows discipline. If you don't have discipline, you will never be able to connect with anybody. All right, so disconnect and connect. Not only disconnect to connect with the people who are around you, but disconnect with yourself. Disconnect and connect with yourself. I've actually fasted for at least more than 24 hours from my phone, and I think I knew that I liked me more than I liked these pictures I was liking. And I'm like, next is make eye contact. It's important to make eye contact when you want to communicate and connect with somebody. Like Fabio said, if he comes up and he's like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. Do you really feel engaged? You're not going to feel engaged. The reason you're not going to feel engaged because it seems like you don't even matter. All right? Now the next one is Pinnacle level. So these are common practices, connecting practices. The name tag method, disconnect and connect, make eye contact level, make eye contact, and the Pinnacle level. And my Pinnacle level is to buy them a drink. They've been standing for 8 hours. They're making sure that they're there for you. So why not ask them? And you guys haven't seen it. There's candy, there's drinks. Why not offer them something? And that's actually operating at a Pinnacle level. If anybody here doesn't know what a Pinnacle is, it's the highest. So we like to operate at a Pinnacle level. Everything we do is with that purpose of thinking of what I could do for you. So now, true connecting is a choice. You must be intentional and available. If you're not available and you're not intentional, you're not going to connect. Because again, going back to that story at Publix, I'm being intentional. I'm disconnected. Why? Because I want to not so much connect, but I want to grow as a person. I want to show myself that I have enough discipline to disconnect from any phone, any social media, anything that has to do with the outside world and be present. Where do we think that anxiety comes from? Where do we think that all these things stems from? It's from not being present. Who here always lives out there, thinking about tomorrow? There you have it. And you live more in the present, trust me. You're able to not only connect a lot better, but you'll feel a lot better. And this is one of the other reasons why people have a problem connecting, is because negative judgment versus positive assessment. We're human. So our automatic mind always goes to the negative. I speak to my mom at least 3, 4, 5 times a day. And my last phone call to her is at 9 o'clock. That's it. I get no phone calls. Maybe Father will harass me a couple times because I need something to do. But at the end of the day, my last phone call is at exactly probably 9 to 10 o'clock. So if I get a phone call after 10 o'clock, already my mind goes to the negative. Because we're prone to think negative. It takes a lot of effort to think positive than it does to think negative. You know, so it's a muscle. Again, Father's a personal trainer, and he's trained me actually. And it's a muscle that we have to develop. Thinking positive is a muscle that we need to develop. But again, we always go to the negative side. So with people, we don't feel like we need to connect because they're negative. Oh, well, you know what? We make negative judgments. Oh, I don't like the way this person looks. I don't. So let's flip that. Let's make positive assessment about people. And then, if you choose not to have them in your life, that's up to you. But always start with a positive assessment. You guys follow? You guys with me? So now, here are the barriers to connecting that we form in order to not connect with other people. And it's assumption. Who here has assumed before? And let me just start with saying that miscommunication starts with assumption. It starts with assumption. I've literally seen people interrupt me, stop me from what I was saying in order for them to tell me what they thought I was going to say. And I'm like, how is that? Like, wait a minute. That's not a way to connect. That's not a way to communicate. All right? So assumption, that's one of the key barriers that stops us from communicating. The second one is arrogance. I don't need to know what others know, feel, or want. Having a leading and learning mentality, a mindset that wants to learn, will always help you thrive. If you're a know-it-all, that's not going to get you anywhere. The moment you stop learning is the moment you're not even living. So arrogance is one of the barriers that we put. The third one is indifference. I don't care to know what others know, feel, or want. Indifference. Growing up, I was picked on. I was picked on I was about 8, 9 years old, and I was picked on because I was always different. I would wear the ripped up jeans, and anybody who sees me on Facebook, I wear crazy clothes. I've been like that since I was young. But the fact that I was different didn't help other people connect with me. Because what it is, they put a barrier there. Oh, she's different. And also because of the culture, because of the characteristics. If you don't have common culture, we don't feel the need to connect. And there's a quote that I'm going to go ahead and put up next, and it says, the opposite of love is not hate, it is indifference. Where do we think that bullism comes from? Jealousy comes from? It doesn't come from hate, it comes from indifference. If you guys think about that for a minute, we cannot hate. There's an indifference there that we feel, and that's exactly what separates us from really connecting. You guys with me? So now, these are the 4 F's to a common ground mindset, and I want you guys to write this down. And it's feel. Try to sense what they feel and acknowledge and validate their feelings. Felt. Share with them that you have also felt the same way. Found. Share with them what you found that has helped you. And find. Offer to help them find help for their lives. These are the 4 F's to connect, to have a common ground mindset. The moment that you tell somebody, hey, listen, I feel you, I've been there. How does that make you feel? It makes you feel good, right? It's funny because statistics say that out of not only I love you makes you feel good, but the word I understand you makes you also feel good. Your feelings get validated. So why not approach people when they talk to you and say, you know what, I understand you. I felt that way before. I found what has helped me, so I'm going to find a way for you. And I guarantee you that the moment you do this is the moment that you're not only connecting, but you're validating that other person's feeling. People only connect when inspired. There's these sheets in your folder, and I'm going to give you guys 20 seconds to write down who inspires you. Don't think of it, just the first person that comes to mind. I believe it's the 3rd page on your folder. Just the first one. So you wrote who inspires you? You wrote who inspires you? Everybody done? You guys got like 5 seconds left. Alright, so you guys have who inspires me. Alright, I'm gonna share with me who inspires me, and it's my mom. Because she raised me as a single mom. And I think that's epic. You know, in my eyes, she's my hero. You know, so she inspires me. Alright? So now, what I want you guys to do is now think of the reason why that person inspires you and write it down on the line below. Good? Alright. So however that person makes you feel is going to equal to your level of connection with them. Because what they know and what you feel equals your level of inspiration. If they didn't inspire you, you would never wrote it down. So now let's flip it for a minute. That person that you wrote down, do you inspire them? Huh? So you inspire them back. Okay. And the reason I say that because communication and connection has to go both ways. Or else there will always be a barrier there. Again, you cannot take out from a bank that you haven't put deposit in. You cannot withdraw if you don't put deposits in. So that's how it is in every relationship. It's a give and take. So that's the reason that I wanted you guys to write down who inspires you, because it's important. Because they might inspire you, or vice versa, but it needs to go both ways. People connect with the level of expectations you have for them. Who believes that? Who has kids here? Okay. How many times has your kid ran to the door after school to show you a grade? Many a times. Why?
Because she feels proud for them.
Okay, so why do you think she feels proud?
Because she accomplished that, she get her goal to get a good grade. And she feels proud to show me because in that way I'm going to feel proud about her.
Okay. And that's a great answer. But the reason she's running through that door to show you her accomplishments is because of the belief you have in her. Because of your expectations level you have for her. If you didn't show any expectations, if you didn't show any care, believe me, she would just throw her book back and it wouldn't even matter. But it already starts with us. It doesn't really matter what they do in school. It's us. We influence people. We show people, listen, I believe in you. I expect you. I have high expectations for you. So how do you think they're going to operate? They're going to operate amazingly. Because your expectation level is high. If you don't expect nothing, they won't give you anything. People won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Another statement. I have to sit here and tell you guys that I care, but would you guys really believe I care if I had a different demeanor? No. Listen, my nephew, he's 5 years old, and he shows me, literally, he calls me about 3 times a week to show me stars. To show me stars. In his eyes, those stars are amazing to him. But the reason he shows me is because of my belief system within him. Because of my level of expectation. So think about it like this. If that's a 5-year-old kid, and he's in high spirits because of his grade, because of a star, just imagine how much better would your employees work if you had higher expectations for them. Again, I see bosses, but not leaders. I see leaders, but not enough of it. And that's the reason when we offer the leadership game, it's for a group, it's for offices. So that not only you connect with the reception next door to you, or right beside you, next to your cubicle, but so that you know the janitor. Because we live in a square. We only care about who's in your square, and that's it. Expand your circle. When you expand your circle, guess what? It's a whole different world. Let's not live in these boxes anymore. Who believes that practice makes perfect? Practice makes perfect. So, for me, I don't really believe that the word perfect should even go when you're a life coach, because it's not about perfection, it's about progress. So it's practice makes progress. And I've seen it. I've seen it with my mastermind group. I've seen them literally, the first week, be in disbelief with themselves. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. And by the second, third week, I see them pumped up already. I see them pumped up to know more, to learn more. Because it's not about perfection. Who wants perfection? It's not about perfection. If that was the case, we would beat ourselves up. Again, I'm telling you these practices because I don't want you guys to beat yourself up. It defeats the purpose of you guys being inspired. It's progress. It's using the name tag method. It's doing these little things that is going to not only help you grow, but it's also going to help that person that you're connecting with. And just to simplify these practices into daily uses is the 4S. The feel, felt, found, and find. The name tag method. The disconnect and connect. And you inspire others and use more emotions and less emotions. Who here uses more emojis than emotions? Huh? I heard somebody say that.
A lot.
You use it a lot. So, but why?
It's the trend, I guess. I mean, new generation, that's how you use it.
Okay, but it's easier. But it's easier. So, do you believe that when it's easier, you're growing? Okay. If it's easy, you're not growing. Again, you have to develop that muscle of doing what the trend is not doing. And there's where the indifference comes. Because it's doing what the trend is not doing that really matters. If you continue to follow suit, and follow suit, and follow suit, guess what? You're part of them. You're part of not the difference. So, it's funny because I don't use emojis. Yes?
I use emojis, but because when I write a word, a sentence, I want that the other person that I send the message, feel me, what I send, because I can store with you. For example, I'm going to the store with you. You can interpret that I'm going to the store with you in different ways.
Right.
Maybe she's mad with me, or maybe she wants to, or she's sad.
Right.
So I want to the other person feel like I'm happy because I'm going with you. So
Right.
I'm going with you, happy face. I'm so happy for that. So I'm trying to send the message.
Got it.
For that reason, I'm using the emoji.
Perfect. And it's like a double-edged sword. So now, if I use emojis, it's rarely. This is what I do. If I tell somebody, hey, I'm thinking of you, I won't text it. I won't post it. I want to show my emotions. And guess what? I pick up the phone and I say, hey, listen, I've been thinking about you. Want to go to Starbucks? Let's connect. But again, it's so easy to say, hey, thinking about me. That's it. Gone. You never know if that person really needed you. I've seen it. What happens after you hit a sad face on your emoji on Facebook? You screen and you like a picture, and that person that you hit sad face 3 scrolls back, what were you sad about? Do you even remember?
No.
Exactly. You don't remember. Once you screen, once you scroll, at least 3 posts down, you're going to forget what you were sad about, what you were emotionally sad about, and you hit that sad face. So that's what I mean when is using less emoji and emotions. Because if you're able to hit sad, that means that there was something that your friend said that kind of made you sad. So why not pick up the phone and say, hey, listen, are you okay? I see that you posted something. Is everything okay? Do you see the difference here?
Right.
There's a difference of hitting a sad face and be like, oh, look what happened to Lisa. And then there's a difference of saying, You see the difference? I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was to post something that is out of character, I would expect my friends to call me. I would expect my friends to not only call me, but I would expect them to communicate and contact me and connect with me. What do you need, Meech? Because that's when it all begins. Let's try to eliminate this a little bit more. Because it's causing barriers. Again, like Fabio said before, as soon as we get to the restaurant, this is the first thing that goes. Before your child goes into that seat, your phone gets there. Right? Let's fast from it. Challenge yourself. It's not about me. I know what I do because I want to become the best version of me. It's me against the person in the mirror. It's you against the person in the mirror. It has nothing to do with me. When I say operate at a Pinnacle level and I buy a lady a drink, the cashier lady, that's what I do. Find something that works for you guys in order to always operate and outperform yourself. All right? Guys, that's my time. Johnny's going to come up and tell you about a couple promotional things that we have going on.
I have a little exercise prepared, but before we start, I want you guys to take a minute to think and to write down a takeaway from what Michi and Fabio said. It can be, don't use emojis, whatever you want, you feel that you want, but I want you to write it down, like a golden nugget. Anybody want to share?
Be present.
Be present. I have a golden nugget for you. Watch, now everybody's going to start sharing. Anybody else?
Disconnect from social media from time to time.
Alright. For you? Anybody else? That works. That works. That works.
Pick up the phone and connect.
Pick up the phone. That's great. I mean, I don't know if I've been in a situation where I'm sending a text message and I realize it's 5 minutes and it's back and forth. If I make a phone call, it goes easier, right? And even worse when you're driving and texting. Right? Alright, so the exercise that I have prepared is it's really a simple exercise, but it's it's a scientific exercise actually on communication skills. See, words are ambiguous, right? Because we each give different meanings to words depending on background or feelings or thoughts. And when we're communicating, we express that through the words. Even though, like Fabio said, words are only 7% of the message, but we still use words, even on the phone or email or text. So I want to illustrate that exercise to a little simple word. Sex. Right? I know it's a serious exercise, but it's also fun. So, and if you, I mean, anybody, anywhere, is going to be able to recognize this word. Right? So what I want you to do is we're going to take a few minutes, and you're going to write down 5 things that comes to mind when you think about sex. But please keep it PG-13. Right, so 5 things. Right, while you guys finishing those things, I'm gonna put these things on your desk. While you guys finish, give you a couple minutes so we can realize the time. Only 5 things, guys. Don't overthink it. I have somebody put the other day high heels and toys. So
It's a magnet, I wanna see it on the car. Or on the refrigerator. Then take a picture, post it, and connect with us on social media. Look at that. There we go.
all right, perfect. I need a volunteer. This one.
So it's gender, love.
Alright, give me, Michi's gonna help me out just right now. Gender? Anybody else put gender? So we got 1, 2, 3, we have about 30 people, so 1% of, yeah, 2% of the people put gender. Alright? What's the second word?
Love.
Love. Alright, anybody put love? Okay, 60% of the room, love. 66. Alright, the next one? Expectation, alright, about gender, so let's keep that one with gender. Okay. Production on sex.
The human race.
Anybody else put production? Alright, so 0.5%. Communication. A seminar on communication. Anybody else put communication and sex?
Connection.
We got like 5%. And your last word. Taboo. Anybody else put taboo? Like 0%. I don't know what you guys are thinking about sex,
I'm curious to see what these freaks are writing down.
Right. So, I mean, if I'm talking with her about sex, I mean, she's with her boyfriend, so. No, if I'm talking with somebody, and I'm just a little simple word like sex, but this is what she have on her mind, and I have something different. What hope we have to being understood, right? So, what did this say about communication? It's just a simple exercise. It's a common word. Anybody will be able to recognize sex. But what it says about communication is that communication is tricky. So that's where the other 93% of communication comes in place. Body language and how you deliver your message, right? And being able to communicate effectively takes energy, takes a lot of energy. And like anything in life, we need to make a necessary investment. So if we have to sow if we expect to reap, right? So, I'm the VP of marketing of the company. And when we put these events, I'm the one in charge to make sure that we add value to you guys. So you heard Fabio talking about the mastermind, about the leadership game, about the DISC assessment, which he was talking. So I just want to go through all that so you guys are clear on some of the tools that we use on the company when we're going to bring value and help others, not just individuals but business, through exercise like a small exercise like this. For example, I was working with a community of business owners, and when I say delinquent, if you work in collections, you know that you're past due. But if you're a lawyer, delinquent means another thing. So small words have, depending on your background, depending on where you are, has a different definition. And even if you're in another part of the world, if you say in England boot, that means the trunk of the car. Or bonnet means the hood. And hood means something else in another part. So communication effectively is very important. this is some of the tools that we use to increase that communication skill. So the mastermind group, basically it's a combination of thinking, brainstorming, accountability, and support. We put a group of people in one room, we use a common topic, like a book, and we go a deep study to the book. It can be like a book study, but the good thing is that you have the material, you bring your own idea, you have another 10 people in the room, so when you leave, you have 9 extra ideas. One of the advantages of this is that you're going to be able to understand how other people think. Like if I'm doing a mastermind with her, I'm going to get to connect with her. And I'm going to get to understand why she was taking on production. That she's ready to form a family. She's on that stage, so she's thinking on kids, she's thinking on her future. Oh, maybe not right now, don't give me this. Right? The next tool that we have is the DISC personality profile assessment. Why DISC? Because we have dominant, inspiring, supportive, and cautious. Right? So if you have a retail store of chocolate, right? And you have somebody dominant working with you, if you put it in the bag in the kitchen, that person is gonna go bananas. Because that person is so used to talk to people and influence others. That's a high D. That's usually the CEO of the company. Right? But if the person is cautious and is in the front, it's the person that self-doubt, that is shy, that is introvert. That people in the kitchen will be doing the best chocolate that you can taste, because it's taking the time to make sure that it measures and everything. So, and not just to get to know your personality, but the personality of people that work with you, right? If you're gonna hire a personal assistant, if you're gonna grow the company, right? If you get to know how the other people react to certain situations, how they learn, how they communicate, then the connection is gonna be easier and stronger. Right? The regular price for the disc is $97, and it takes about 20 minutes to half an hour to do the disc. And then, depending on the group or depending on the needs that you have, we use 45 minutes to 2 hours on the briefing or the results. The leadership game. This is really an innovative tool. Like Fabio said, because it presents itself as a game, it's easy to interact and open up. So this is basically a group assessment tool. And we use it for group training when you want to create teamwork or communication in a team. If you have different departments on the company and you want to make the communication smooth between those departments, we play the leadership game so they get to know what the other people do and how they do it. It's also, so it's going to measure your leadership, it's going to measure your communication, it's going to measure your discipline. It's a really, really, really fun game, but it's a serious tool that is going to give you the weakness and the strength of your group, of your company. The regular price is $9.97. What we do, we play the game for 2 hours, around 2 hours, between 6 to 12 people. And after that, depending on the results, we sit down and we go a workshop like this for hours and hours.